What do you want to eat? Pizza? Barbecue? Anchovies? Mustard?
I'm thinking fusion.
Hello, this is Colton Cox, and you've reached the Hot Wax Hotline. Hot Wax Hotline. Hot Wax
Hello out there, rock and rollers. Welcome back to another episode of the Hot Wax Hotline, an interview show where I talk to incredible independent musicians, get to know them a little bit, learn about their songwriting process, and then have them play a song at the end of the show. I'm so glad you called today because I have some great guests on the line. I'd like to welcome KC punk band Breaking In. This is Lila Jewel and Zion Torn. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, how are we doing today?
Really good.
Pretty good.
Yes. Yeah, I've already asked you this question. But well, cool. I'm glad you guys are here today. I've got some really questions I want answers to from you guys. So I'm going to ask those of you here in a bit. But to get started off, we like to lull you into a false sense of security so that we can ask you really hard questions right at the beginning of it. So this is a little segment we like to call Hard Pressed. And basically, I'm going to throw some real simple questions at you, and you just make a choice as quick as you can.
Speed round.
Speed round. Yeah, lightning round.
No thought.
Okay. So, very first question. I'm going to make you make a hard choice. Green Day or White Stripes?
Green Day, 100%.
I don't really listen to Green Day much, so it has to be White Stripes.
Yeah, see, I Green Day missed me. I think I was just a little too old for Green Day, but you're younger than me, so I don't know. I don't know. It just didn't get me, I guess. Okay. The Ramones or the Clash?
Ooh, I think the Ramones for me, but that's a hard choice. So
Yeah.
It's hard too, but I think I like the Clash more.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, different things, but both iconic in their own right, and and very important to the history of punk.
Exactly.
Of course,
They're so different. They're both punk, but still the genre is so wide.
Mhm. Yeah. Midsommar or Hereditary?
Hereditary.
Hereditary. Yeah.
You haven't
Definitely.
even finished that though, have you?
I have. I've watched it
Finally?
multiple times, but it's hard to watch. The first time I ever watched it, it was in theaters. I was in California and smoked some really strong California weed and fully blacked out. I remember laying in the parking lot, and then I remember being in the theater. And it was really scary. The only time I've ever actually been scared by a horror movie.
Yeah.
And so now every time I watch it, I'm like, oh God. But it also is really good. They do actually pull off scaring you really well.
Yeah.
The imagery is all I just
The
the
soundtrack
family dynamics and
of
yeah.
Hereditary. Colin Stetson is one of my favorite artists. I love his music
okay.
so much.
Yeah, no, that's so true. The soundtrack
man.
is
I would
insane.
definitely, Hereditary is definitely scarier to me. I feel like Midsommar is almost like an art movie that has horror elements in it,
Midsommar is a vibe, but
It is,
for
yeah.
horror movies,
Hereditary is terrifying in the
Yes.
perfect horror movie kind of way.
I think it's probably one of the best actually scary movies.
All right, last one. Stephen King books versus movie adaptations?
The books.
Probably the
I
books.
figured that'd be the
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a Stephen King movie like that you like?
I think
I know
The
most, like, book
Shining
people
is
prefer.
good, but it's not a Stephen King book adaptation.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Right? Like, it is really good,
Yes.
so
but it's
different.
really not the same book.
It's a Kubrick movie. It's
Yeah.
not a Stephen
No,
King
I mean, like,
adaptation, but
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's so good, but
Yeah.
it's not. I don't really consider in the canon of Stephen King.
so one that got me that I have mixed feelings on because James Franco was the star, but the Hulu adaptation of like 11/23/62,
I haven't seen that one.
it's like a time travel story where he like goes back and is like trying to stop
Yeah.
the Kennedy assassination, right?
Oh, okay.
But it's also kind of like a romance type thing, and I just was very unexpectedly like, wow, this is actually really good. But yeah, an
I think-
interesting one.
I
worth
think
watching.
Gerald's Game is really good.
Oh, I didn't see that
That
one.
one's
No,
horrifying.
that one was.
I don't
good.
like-
Just
Yeah.
the scenario.
I
I
don't
don't
like
need to know anything.
The degloving is disgusting.
Oh God. Yeah. No.
Ugh.
They
Can't
do
deal
it
with it.
well.
Ugh. But yeah, that's it. You made it through hard pressed. That was the hard part. We're gonna relax now. We're gonna have a nice normal interview. But yeah, that's fun stuff. Some things I didn't know about you, especially, but meeting you for the first time. Here we go. So, how did the band come together?
Do you think it's when I biked to your house?
Yeah. Okay. So that story. So as I started teaching myself guitar, I really quickly started putting words to it because, like I said, ever since I can remember, I would sing like little songs and make stuff up, right? But I never had a instrument to like put it with. I tried it with cello and piano. I just could never do anything. It just never worked out. So I learned power chords and I was like, let's go. So I wrote a song that I actually still play. And that like went really well. I think I actually had the words first and then I put it to some guitar and I just started writing so many songs. I would come home from school and just play for like 6 hours every day.
It really seemed like a lot easier to write songs at that point. I feel like when you're like
I
a
think
teenager.
it's because you don't have any expectations.
Yeah, that's probably a big part of it.
But I would just record things on, I had a little iPod Nano. I wanted an iPod Touch. That's what I was saving up for previously.
I see.
But I had a very old iPod that only worked when it was plugged in charging, and I would record myself playing. And I remember, I think I like sent you a recording or something, or we were just talking about.
No, you just told me about it.
I
at
just
that point.
told you about it, like at school or something.
Yeah.
Like I told you that I was playing and
Yeah.
writing songs.
Yeah, you were like, well, you had like
I had so many.
and you
Yeah.
were constantly talking about it.
Okay, so I guess I was talking about writing songs, and he was like, I want to hear it. And I think I either sent you a recording or said, I will send you a recording. And you were like, no, I want you to like play it for me. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I will send you a recording, but I'm not going to play in front
what
of
you
you.
did say was, sure, I'll show you later today at school.
Oh,
And
yes.
then we went home and you were like, assuming that you would not see me later that day, but I biked to your house and said, now you have to show me.
This
Yes.
is happening.
This is happening. You do have to play this for me now. I have your word.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
And she was like, yeah, okay, fine. Very reluctantly pulled out like these, like, you know, how like if you record a song on your like phone, you know, it's very personal. So, but it was like, this stuff is really good. I really
I'll
liked
put this
it.
on my phone so no one will ever hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was just hanging out, got home from school, was playing like I did every time. And then he shows up on his bike and I was like, what the fuck? No, I didn't want to do this. But yeah.
So provide context, right? So is this high school or is this
I think
middle
I was
school?
like 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Right? Because
yeah.
I had
So you
just.
guys have known each other for a long time then.
Yeah, I
we're-
think
since
since
I was, like,
12,
13,
13, something
wow,
like that.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been going to the same like homeschool groups for like a really long time.
Yes, we
We
were
were both
both
homeschooled.
Homeschool.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I mean, so that's probably little under 10 years now that you guys have been
A
playing
band?
together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. Crazy
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah.
I think-
and we've had members come and go, but it's been us the whole time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Awesome. I think it's time to do our second game, which is Situational DJ. Okay?
All right.
So this is a new one. We like trying a new game every episode. This is my awful creation. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide a scenario to you, And then I want you to provide what would be like the soundtrack to that scenario. Right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you guys decided together or if you have separate answers. I'm cool either way.
I have very strong feelings about scoring in general because I
Great.
kind of got into music through.
Yeah.
Well, I was doing I was composing, but I was also composing like with the idea of film. Right? I was like thinking about scoring visually.
Well, this is
stuff.
a perfect game for you. Unintentionally, the perfect game for you. Okay, so first situation. You're sitting in a very cool, very posh bar. There's a wicked Japanese punk band playing in the background. And all of a sudden, a woman with a katana wearing a yellow tracksuit comes in and starts hacking up gangsters with a katana. What's the vibe?
I mean, my default response is, with the uniquely composed piece of music that was written exactly for that scene.
No, Zaya.
Because I find it incredibly artistically bankrupt to feel like you need to force other people's work into your work.
What we were talking about before
this is for fun.
is like all the movies and shows that we love so much that have songs written specifically for them.
Yes.
Like Arrested Development we were talking about earlier.
All the music
all
in
the
that.
songs, almost all the songs in there are written for that show.
Yellow
which is
boat.
so
The yellow
good.
boat.
The
Balls in the air.
Yes.
Get those
Perfect.
balls in the air.
Yeah.
So good.
But generally,
so
my feeling
Perfect.
about this is like, the best case scenario is Guardians of the Galaxy, where you're purposefully trying to remind people of other people's work.
Because the story is based around the mixtape
Yes.
of
yes,
songs that
right,
already exist.
right.
So
it makes sense
it
for them
works
to be
in that
there.
for
You
me.
guys went way too meta on this.
But like Parks and Rec,
Yeah.
They
5,000 candles in the wind.
whatever
Yeah.
that band is called, it's usually
Mouse
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 They have
Rat.
so
Yeah.
many
Bobo.
different names. But yeah, they wrote the songs for that show, and that's so cool. And like the
I shouldn't
movie,
have been so specific. I should you said actual movie reference. My apologies.
Oh God, no, I can't forget. I was just forgetting this name earlier. Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Oh,
all
yeah,
those
yeah.
songs
Written by
were
Beck.
written by Beck for that movie.
Well, you can't beat Beck
like I
either,
just
so.
we like it when
All
it's
right, well, we'll
written
move on to the
for
next
well,
one.
we
the
can
movie.
say any egg punk song.
Well, yeah, egg punk.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a really fun genre.
I'm
You should look it up.
thoroughly unfamiliar with egg
It
punk.
sounds like a
Prison
trash
Affair
can.
is if you're looking for egg punk, Prison Affair is my favorite band
Prison
in that.
Affair, okay.
Check them out. They're great.
Jot it down. Okay, well, next situation then. This one, I was really curious to see your answer on this one. So it's the climactic scene in a romance movie where a couple finally gives in to their feelings and shares an intimate kiss in the rain. What's the soundtrack?
Song that already exists. I would say I could give a real example of a song.
Please.
Any song with like slide guitar, I feel like would fit. So I'm gonna say "Last Night on Earth" by Green Day.
Okay. Gosh, I'm like trying to picture like the Notebook with the Green Day song playing in the background.
I've
Perfect.
never seen The Notebook.
No, I haven't either. I just know that the one scene.
The romance movie.
The romance, that one. We all know slide guitar is what makes like sad country work so well.
Yeah.
All right, last one, part 3 here. I wanted to try and bend like the gender of the question to like the way like how you would be, but I really think it's specific of imagining you're a young man finally meeting your girlfriend's dad for the first time. So imagine yourself like in high school meeting girlfriend's dad for the first time, right? What's the song that plays when the door opens and dad is revealed?
What's the name? Simon Garfunkel song, Hello Darkness.
Also somewhat of an Arrested Development reference.
Yes. For some reason, I'm imagining like,
Oh no.
do you know, Dirty Little Secret?
All American Rejects?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Wait,
With
like the dad is the dirty little
no!
secret? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh no.
Sort of like a reverse
Wow.
Stacy's mom.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the other one that was in my head. But then I was like, no, that's
Stacy's
different
dad
one.
is
Yeah.
gone. Perfect. Wow. No, that's perfect. All right. Well, situational DJ, I think some pretty solid answers in there. Okay, perfect. All right. Well, with that, we'll kind of jump into our next segment here. So we just started talking about your songwriting process, all that kind of stuff. So first thing I want to start out with is the EP itself. Name of the EP. Can we start with that?
So
do we have
I don't
a name
know if
for
it's
it?
going to have a name. It might just be breaking in.
Like self-titled.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if I come up with a name, maybe there will be one. I don't know. I don't really feel super strongly about that.
Okay. I think that, first of all, from what I've heard of you guys, I feel like you've found a really good spot of like having a sound that like kind of translates into all the songs, but then each one has its own like flavors of that same.
Hell yeah, that's what we
thing.
tried to do really hard.
So I think you're doing it.
This is 5 songs on it.
Perfect.
3 of them are songs that I wrote when I was in high school, when I was like probably like 16, 17.
Manifestation.
And
right
then
there.
2 of them are new.
Which one of them you wrote basically, and one of them I wrote.
Yeah.
Right.
One of them was completely improvised. I sat down in the studio and just played a song and made it up, and that's what it is.
Right.
And then
I made something up on top of it, and then you made something up on top of that, and then we just stacked a bunch of improvised tracks. That one's going to be called Psychometry.
that one's really cool. I like that
Okay.
one a lot.
Sounds interesting.
We also have, the other one, the one that started off the album is like, well, I'm still calling it the album because in my head we had a 15-song album that we were planning,
yeah.
but
Gotta
we had to
bunch of
rip
them
a
off.
ton of stuff out, and this song was like a way of encapsulating that album's like specific patterns and vibes into like this first song. And now it's just the first song of this EP instead of the first song of the album. So it's like lacking that context, and it just makes it stand out in such a weird way from the rest of the EP.
Sounds pretty different, but all 5 of them sound pretty different, to be honest.
Well, I myself am a huge fan of like bands who can do a lot of different sounds.
Yeah. Something that we've always said is that we don't ever want any 2 songs of ours to sound the same or like so similar that you can't tell them apart. There's a lot of bands that like all their stuff has a very similar tone, which is cool and it's fine, but at the same time it's like, what if you use a slightly different guitar tone for that song instead of them all sounding exactly the same?
Small tragedies aside of losing songs and things like that, I bet at the end of the day it'll be a stronger record for it. So
Lost and Not Gone. We're bringing it back.
Yes.
We're just not gonna have to totally re-record them.
It happens, but it's just all part of the journey. So
We've done it so many times at this point because we have like probably 100 demos at this point.
Wow. Yeah.
Because just over the years, like when we were like 17, 18, we started going to Johnson County Community College and took all their recording classes, all their music classes. And that's when we really started making our own songs, like real, right? We'd written a lot of stuff and just like recorded on like voice memos or whatever, but like started actually getting into the production and like getting in the studio and all that stuff. So since then, which has been almost 10 years at this point, we've probably accumulated, I would say, over 100 songs.
We did the math some time
We
ago,
wrote them all
and we were
out,
like,
and
wow,
we're
this
like,
is like a
holy
lot.
shit.
Look at it this way: you'll always have something to release.
And the problem is, I don't want to work on those songs. I want to just like write new songs.
Right, we get
fair,
bored of
fair.
them.
Like,
Fair.
So there will be ones that will probably be lost forever, but
Gotta do something with them. Just
Maybe
like,
eventually.
just flop them out
there's
somewhere.
there's
Like
one
there they are.
called Blue Night that we've been wanting to put out for ever since we made it, and it keeps not happening over and over.
Yeah.
But we have a couple friends, your mom, they're just like, they're so mad
have,
that it's
like-
not out yet.
they have the demo, and they're like, Zion, you realize that if the demo was on something, it would have like thousands of listens at this point because from just the people who know it and listen to the little demo version.
God.
Well, I only have one last question for you. And this is not necessarily music related, just something I kind of want to shout out you for, Lila. So for the last like year or so, I think you've been doing these music and art festivals here in town, in Kansas City. And I just can't say how cool I think all of that is. I've organized a lot of shows myself and stuff like that, but I just really like that you're doing this kind of like, you're trying to build a community, And I think I mostly brought it up because I would love to know like what kind of brought you into starting to do those, and like if you have like big plans for them in the future, or like, yeah. So tell me about it.
So the reason I wanted to do it is because I was having trouble finding shows to play at.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a few other friends who were also having trouble. So I was like, we could just make our own show, right? And also the other thing was, when I was a teenager first getting into music, it was almost impossible for me to find a community and to find the scene. I don't know. I assume the scene existed back then, but I wasn't aware of it until I would say the past like, oh God, what year is it? It's 2026.
It
so
is. Yes.
20, I think 2022
The
or
year of our Lord 2026
is when I started like actually getting into the KC music scene.
Yeah.
And I was like, really wanted to not only make a community like available to other young people, but also just like start playing shows and putting myself out there too, right? So I had a friend who helped me make my first one. Her name is Taylor, and she was like, we should do it in your basement. That works, because I have a big kind of unfinished basement like this. So we did the first, I think, 3 or 4
It was a lot.
in the basement.
Yeah, I remember when you first started doing. I didn't see any of them, but I remember when you started doing them.
Yeah, and the last one I did in the basement was so crazy. So many people came, and I was not expecting that at all.
Don't
basement-
underestimate house shows. They'll go crazy.
The basement was so packed that people couldn't fit down there anymore. So they started staying on the stairs, and then they were staying in the kitchen, and then they were standing outside.
Yeah. After that, I was like, hey, we can't do this here anymore. It's like, this is too small. This is way too small. We can't do this.
Yeah, he didn't like it.
I get it. No, I understand.
loved
I was
it.
worried about our stairs collapsing and stuff.
Yeah.
So
There were so many people.
it really struck me when I was in Wichita. We did a lot of house shows at the house. I lived with like 3 other single dudes at the time. And I just, I love seeing bands kind of like be like, well, if you're not going to book me, then fuck you. I'm going to book myself. You
Exactly.
know? And I think
DIY.
Yes, DIY. Not only that, like the sense of community is so much stronger. You get so much more out of it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's just really cool. And I'm glad to see another person doing that. And I feel like Kansas City doesn't have enough people that are doing that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to give you a shout out on that.
I don't know if people just all started doing it at the same time, or if people were inspired by the ones I did. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's been multiple ones popping up over the past bit. Like there's a friend of mine, Mickey, that has a house venue called the Dust Bowl.
Oh, I'm not familiar with it.
She does music and art shows.
Cool,
it's really cool. And then there's well, it's not a house, but the ECM in Lawrence, they do a lot of stuff like that's kind of similar too. And they're doing one actually on March 6th. And I'm actually going to table, which is different. I'm not going to be playing music at this. I'm going to be doing the art. And it's someone else's show that they're hosting. But yeah, it's going to be really cool. It's another music and art
Well, hell yeah.
collaboration type thing. But yeah, I just think it's really important for people, especially young people, to have the opportunity to put themselves out there, whether it's the visual art or the musical component or whatever. Like, no matter how new you are, or even if you're not young and you've been doing it for a long time, or maybe you're also new to it, but you're just not like the demographic that people normally think of. Like, my goal is just to have a wide variety of skills, genres, abilities, ages, everything. So
and in a inclusive environment.
Yes, all my flyers have like this like thing on the bottom where it's like no racism, no sexism, no homophobia, no creepy behavior. That has a bunch of other stuff, but yeah.
I wanted to say that we were talking about this recently. We were trying to think like, why did you start doing these? And we're like, there was a thing that our homeschool group did that we called Tuesdayville because it was the co-op that happened on Tuesday.
Okay.
And it was like this big festival, which is very reminiscent of your art shows, where we did play as a band.
It's been there though.
We literally,
been-
like
it's been-
in school, created a festival and booked ourselves.
Wow.
Yeah. Because
There you go.
this, in homeschool, it's
Very artistic.
very
yeah.
arts based. Yeah.
Artistic.
I have taught a lot of
And-
homeschool kids in my time.
At the end of like the year, like in the spring, we would do like some sort of like thing to like showcase something. I don't know. A lot of times it was a play, and then eventually we got sick of doing plays, and our friend group, which made up a majority of the co-op, but we were like, we should do like an art, like music thing, because we had a band we really wanted to play, and then everyone is artistic in that co-op. So there was like dances, there was like a dance group, there was like aerial silks, there was like
That's crazy.
a lot of different performances. It was nuts. And
There was a chef that one of our students was like really into cooking, and he like made all the food, and like everyone got to
there was
eat
like
there
hors d'oeuvres
and
and
stuff.
stuff.
It was really good
it was
for like a
whole
little thing.
production.
Homeschool kids going off.
Yeah.
No, that is I totally forgot that we were talking about that.
Yeah.
But that was definitely I
think that's like an inspiration for us a
something
lot.
that made me go, oh, I can do this.
You're
you
just
know,
still doing the same
Yeah.
shit almost 10 years later.
but a goal for the future for us is to have
Just our own venue,
ideally,
basically.
It would be really cool if it was in like old church, because they have the organ and
Right,
stuff,
right.
right? And take out all the pews, make a mosh pit, and then like all the rooms could be different things. Like we could have a recording studio, we
Yeah.
could have like a place to like make merch, or like to put your music on
Sounds
like
magical.
CDs or
I
whatever.
desperately want a place with good natural reverb.
Yeah, it
be
would be so
awesome.
good to record in a church. They're good, such
Yeah.
good like locations for recording. Bands could stay the night if they need to, if they're touring. It would have lessons. It would be like a record label. I
Just
have
dreaming.
extreme
thoughts. Yeah.
dreams,
I
but I
understand.
think it would be so cool if I could do that somehow. It would be a group effort of like
Community.
a lot of
Yeah.
very community based.
We
yes.
certainly don't believe in grand diluted dreams here on.
No, not at all.
Gotta be realistic.
Well, I think that's all the questions I got for you guys. I'm going to hand the reins over to you. Let you play a song here in a minute.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being on the show
Yeah.
today. We feeling good? We feeling ready?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm going to say goodbye for now, but I'll hand it off to these two. And now presenting, breaking in, playing.
It's called Truths in Spring, and it's going to be on the album after the E EP.
Truce in Spring.